How much I made on Etsy in my first 6 months selling on the platform is going to really shock you. So for the first time on YouTube, I'm going to reveal all of my revenue figures that I made from the start of my Etsy journey. So if you're wondering at what point in your Etsy journey you should expect to see revenue start to increase, then this video is going to shed some light on that very question. But now I just want to clarify something. This video is made for informational and motivational purposes. It is by no means at all to brag about any revenues that I've made on Etsy. So coming from a single parent household with not much money at all growing up, I'm literally incredibly grateful for every single cent that I've made on the Etsy platform. If you're somebody that you think the sight of someone showing how much revenue they've earned online is either going to upset you or it's going to trigger you, then please click off this video now. Because, you know, I totally understand that, and I don't want to upset anybody with this video. But if you want to keep watching for motivation and to see what's possible, to see what I've earned, then that's going to be all of my virtue signaling out the way. And let's see how much I made on Etsy in my first ever month selling on the platform. So I opened my Etsy shop on the 20th of June 2021, and the first month was incredibly hectic. I was frantically listing items, and to be honest, I made so many mistakes. So how much did I make on my first month of Etsy? Well, I made a grand total of 202 English pounds and 4 pence, or $245.08. But there is a huge caveat here. Out of that $245, I'd say only around $30 was actually from outside customers. The remainder was from friends and family who just wanted to really help out my business during the early days, which again, I'm incredibly grateful for. But anyway, month one out of the way, let's see how things progressed up into month two. So I'd say this was the month when I first started finding my feet a little bit with Etsy. I'd watched probably hundreds of hours of YouTube videos at this time on how to improve my Etsy listings, and I finally did start making a few sales, which, I mean, any sales at all at this point, I was obviously completely over the moon with. In the second month, I also started listing a lot more items on my store, and I'd say probably at this point, my total store listings was around 30 listing mark. So of course, how much did I actually make in month two of Etsy? Well, I made a grand total of 2,916 Great British pounds and 80 pence, or $3,549.91. But of course, just like the first month, there is a massive caveat here, and you can very quickly see it in this revenue graph. So basically, half of my whole revenue for this month was made on the 11th of July. So somebody literally ordered 1,500 English pounds worth of products from my brand new store, which at the time hadn't even been trading for 1 month. So yeah, this is just a little reminder to you. Keep going, and I'm sure at some point a little miracle is going to happen and you'll get your just rewards. So yeah, let's see how things started shaping up in month 3 of the journey. This was the first month that my revenue from Etsy actually came anywhere near or even on par with my salary that I was earning at the time as a marine engineer in England, which was a grand total of 3,679 Great British pounds and 97 pence, or $44,078.73. This was a really good month for me in my life, and so proud. I think it was the first time for my Etsy shop where I really started to see all of the blood, sweat and tears that I put into it previously, because like, I promise you, I put a lot of time into that Etsy shop, and I finally started to see it all pay off, which was just amazing. But anyway, let's move on to month 4. And did things continue to improve, or did they start to go downhill? I'll tell you now, month 4 was when something really crazy started to happen. But importantly for this month, I did something very different to previous months. So in September of 2021, I made an incredible 8,227 English pounds and 10 pence, or $10,012.83. So this was the first month on Etsy when I started using keyword research tools and product price comparison tools. Like, I'd heard all the best YouTubers talking about it, and it was the first time I really took a step into the unknown for me at the time. I predominantly used these tools to ensure that the keywords I was using for my titles and tags were low competition, but also had super high search values. But the biggest thing for me in this month was when I used these research tools to find new products to sell that were actually previously proven to be making sales. So in this month, I added a total of 25 new listings to my store, all of which I found ideas for on Everbee, where I also had the proof that these products were making great sales volumes. So this was really good because I could literally see right in front of me the sort of products I wanted to sell, and then I could literally hand pick the ones that was making the most sales and had the most searches on the platform, and I could literally just add them to my shop and then kind of not worry so much about the other products that weren't making as many sales. So after I started adding listings in this way, it brought my total store listings up to 60 at the time. And this is just why I really recommend to have a go at using some research tools, because honestly, it's my best advice. They'll put you ahead of so much of the competition. And if you want to use some of the same tools that I use, then I'll leave a link to check out Everbee in the video description. And they are kindly sponsoring today's video after I reached out to them. So of course, feel free to check them out if you wish. But like I always say, remember, just only use research tools that you feel comfortable using and that actually add value to your specific circumstance. Okay, so with that killer month 4 out of the way, let's move on to month 5 and see how that started progressing. Okay, so in month 5, things got crazy. Just before I reveal how much I made in this month, I just want to reiterate again how grateful I am for every single cent that I made on Etsy. But with that, I'm also going to be super upfront about the amount of work I actually put in to get these revenue values. Because I see so many YouTubers out there selling like false dreams that you can just put like no effort into your business and get massive returns, when that's not the case. At this point in my Etsy journey, I was literally working on my shop from the time I woke up pretty much to the time I went to sleep every single day. Meanwhile, balancing that with like my day job as well. That's the reality that was behind it. But I can tell you it did pay dividends, because in this month, I made an outstanding 17,979 Great British pounds and 77 pence, or 21,882 US dollars and 37 cents. So I know this is literally insane numbers, and myself coming from a single mother upbringing and not having much money at all growing up, this was literally a massive shock to me. Like, you almost feel growing up that it's impossible to see these kind of sales figures, and then when you do, like, you almost kind of don't really know how to react to it. But at the end of the day, it really is a sign that hard work pays off, and this is why I just employ any of you to just carry on working, because the work you're putting in, you will see results from, I promise you. But anyway, now moving on to month 6, did the hard work continue to pay off? Let's find out. In November of 2021, in total, I earned 24,668 Great British pounds and 28 pence, or 30,022 US dollars and 65 cents. So again, I'm just so proud of this month in my Etsy shop, and just the fact that hard work in this world really does pay off. And now, if you didn't know already, most of my YouTube is full of videos about Etsy tips and how to earn more money on Etsy. So I kind of hope that we can use this video to kind of like build that level of trust that the tips I'm giving out, it's all tips that I've used myself. And if this isn't enough proof to you that it actually works, like, I don't know what would be. So on that note, for the first time ever, I'm opening up some slots to do reviews of your Etsy shops. That's right. If you want your Etsy shops reviewed in detail from top to bottom by me, and to get a full report on how you can improve and how you can improve your sales, then get in contact with me via Instagram, and I'm sure we can discuss from there. Otherwise, feel free to enjoy some of my other free YouTube content. You might be interested in this video. And I hope you have an amazing day. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.